Hi friends, good morning everyone. First of all, just tell me whether I'm audible, visible properly. There was some technical issue, because of that we are 5-10 minutes late today. Am I audible, visible now? Good morning Aisha. Good morning Shravani. Good morning Mahesh, Srinidhi, Indu. Good morning Spurti. Okay, thank you. So, first of all, welcome to the batch of advanced auditing as per the new syllabus. Now, we know ICI has came up with a new syllabus, and from May 24 onwards, this new syllabus is going to be applicable. So, all exams now onwards are as per the new syllabus, and there are a lot of changes in auditing. I repeat, there are a lot of changes in auditing. They'll not recommend you to go for the old syllabus. The better is to go for the new syllabus only. Those who already done coaching under old syllabus, it's fine. You may go for the changes, but those who are starting fresh, don't take up any old syllabus lectures. Always go for this new syllabus. We'll understand today what are the changes under your old syllabus, new syllabus. We'll also understand the total syllabus which is covered under your new syllabus. And we'll also be starting with the subject. Some basics we'll be doing today. This is day 1. Now, before I move ahead, I'll tell you a few things. Now see, you already cracked your foundation, you cracked your inter, and now final level is pending. See, you're on the last stage, but you need to ensure that unless you clear the stage, the value is not created. Yeah, unless you become chartered accountant, the value which you should have, that will not be there. I understand inter was done very well, but the final has to be done more better. And the final requires an in-depth knowledge of yours. So it's not just the basic knowledge that they test the in-depth knowledge of yours. Now many students feel that's an auditing subject. It was there in your CA inter also, it's there in CA final also. We had auditing standards in inter, we have auditing standards here also, but I tell you, the level of depthness in questions, what they ask in final is totally different. Every auditing standard, actually now they're not auditing standard, they're actually engagement standards. So all your auditing standards which are there or engagement standards which are there, they have a bare text and then they have an application and explanatory material. I repeat, all your auditing standards, they have a bare text and then they have what? Application and explanatory material. In your CA inter, majority questions were from bare text. But in your CA final, majority questions will be from application and explanatory material. The things which you might not have done in that detail, from there the question comes in final. So if people think that auditing is a subject which can be done in self-study or theory subjects can be done in self-study, I tell you, at final level, the depthness is so huge that when you do a self-study, you're not able to interpret in the way it should have been interpreted. So I don't say that it cannot be done, but to do this theory subjects on a self-study mode is more difficult compared to practicals. Yeah, this theory subjects to do on self-study mode is more difficult compared to practicals. The one thing which I'm telling you today, day 1, and which I'll constantly tell you again and again, don't take theory subjects lightly. Majority students who are failing, they're not failing in practicals, their majority are failing in theory subjects. So please don't take the theory subjects lightly. And also recommend your friends also that they also should not be taking these theory subjects on a lightly basis. Now, sir, how our course will go over here? So we are starting today, that is 4th of December, and tentatively will finish up by 15th of February. Lecture timings, every day morning we have 6:30 to 8:30. Saturday, Sunday, holidays. Repeat, Saturday, Sunday and holidays will be having 6:30 to 9:30, 1 hour extra. Normal days will keep 6:30 to 8:30, no breaks in between. 2 hours, there's no break required. Okay, so one, don't take this theory subject lightly. In theory subjects, the importance is given on the words and the sentences which you're using. It's not just the key words which are required, key sentences are also required. Then don't want answer as it is. Yeah, they don't want answer, ditto, copy, paste, no. But they want you to have the important sentences which are there in your answers. If that important sentences are not there, then definitely the marks are going to be deducted. So, sir, how do we keep ourselves fresh during these theory subjects? And what I expect from you? So I expect two, three things from you. Number one, I expect discipline. Yeah. See, whenever these theory subjects are going on, what happens is like slowly and gradually people skip the classes. This used to happen when we have offline classes also. This used to happen when we have this live online also. People skip classes. And then at the last moment, they feel the pressure that, sir, the theory subjects are not done properly. So please make sure you finish up all your theory subjects on a timely basis. I'm not talking just for auditing, I'm talking for all subjects. So finish up all the subjects on a timely basis. You should have around 4 to 5 months just for your self-preparation generally. Yeah, so generally 4 to 5 months for your self-preparation should be there. I understand those who are having exams in May 24, the new syllabus lectures have only started late. So for you, if it becomes a bit late, it's okay. But for November 24 onwards and other students, try to finish up your coaching 4 to 5 months before your examination. Be disciplined in your approach. Number two, give equal justice. Give equal justice to your studies as well as articleship. What happens is, because there is work in articleship, you are ready to miss your classes. But if I say that, okay, today you have some extra class, are you ready to miss your articleship? Then answer will come no. So give equal justice to your lectures as well as the articleship. Articleship is important, but lectures are also equally important. So it should not happen that because you have a pressure at office, you're skipping your classes, you're missing your classes. That should not be there. Be a bit professional in your articleship. Tell them that, sir, these are my timings of lectures. I'll basically be there. Once my lectures are over, definitely you can expect all time of me in office. But if lectures are there, I'll give justice to my lectures as well. Don't be just one-sided in your articleship. That is not going to help you. And number three, you need to keep yourself fresh. Yeah, be happy, be fresh. Now, sir, how do I keep myself fresh? So during lecture time, if you want to keep yourself fresh, few small things. One, keep replying. Whatever question faculty asks, keep replying. It should be ensured that you are there in the chat box every time a question is coming. Number two, have lots of water. Every 15-20 minutes, have some water so that you are again kind of fresh. And if faculty keeps on asking something, you keep speaking at your home. It's okay. If I keep on speaking, if I keep on writing, I'll never feel boring kind of thing. And whatever we're highlighting in material, whatever things we highlight over here, the same things you also highlight at your place as well, because whatever we highlight will become your summary. Now see, this is a regular batch. If you see over here, we have clearly written it's a regular batch. It's not a fast track batch, a regular batch covering everything. Exhaustive coverage will be there. So as we are covering exhaustive, what you need to do is, many people come and say, sir, last moment is a summary. So whatever we highlighted in class, that itself becomes a kind of your summary. I'm telling you, please make sure you keep on highlighting whatever we are highlighting. Now, about me, many of you know me, you already attended my FR class. I am Niket. I cleared my chartered accountancy in November 2008, almost 15 years. And since then, I'm teaching all you lovely students. I taught tens of thousands of students, and hundreds of my students have got All India rank. And I did my articleship at Deloitte. So in 2008, articleship was done at Deloitte. So I had a very good practical exposure also. Almost all listed companies, big clients, they were there. And 15 years say I'm in teaching. I love actually teaching all of you. It's one of my passion. And together with this, I have my stock market related firm where I do investing and where we basically handle the portfolio. So that's small kind of work which basically we do. Okay, that's about me. Now going with the subject. I'll start with the index. Okay, anybody having any questions till now? Anybody having any questions till now? You just type down Y or N. Thank you. Chalo. Now let's see the index. What are the chapters which we are going to learn in our subject of auditing? This is as per the new syllabus. I'll also tell you what all chapters have been removed and what all chapters have been added compared with the old syllabus. Okay. So first chapter which they have given over here, weightage, I'll come to it later. Don't ask me, sir, what are the weightages of each and every chapter. That I'll come to it later. First chapter they have given is quality control. You know this SQC1, Standards on Quality Control 1, and then there's SA 220. SA 220 is quality control for audit work. So quality control is nothing but your SQC1 and your SA 220 getting covered over here. Okay, second chapter basically they've given is General Auditing Principles, Auditor's Responsibility. General Auditing Principles, Auditor's Responsibility. Like, you know, auditor sends a letter of engagement. So SA 210, auditor has to do proper documentation. SA 230, that's auditor's responsibility, right? Then general principles relating to audit, that's covered under your SA 200. So here again this is basically on auditing standards only, SA 200 series. This SA 200 series, 200, 210, 230, all that things. Okay. Third chapter is audit planning, strategy, execution. If you remember, SA 300 is on planning. Again, this chapter is based on auditing standards. Okay, materiality, risk assessment, internal control. This is your SA 300 and 400 series. Okay, so identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement by understanding the entity, its environment, its internal control. SA 315. Identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement by understanding entity, environment, internal controls. So risk assessment 315, responses to the risk is 330, materiality was 320. So this is kind of your 300 series, and now we evaluate the misstatements identified during an audit. Whatever misstatements we identified, we evaluate that comes under your 450. So this is kind of SA 300, 400 series. So this is also standards on auditing. Okay, next one, audit evidence is your 500 series. Audit evidence is your 500 series. So this is also audit. Completion and review. Completion and review is kind of your 600 series. Imagine you use the work of an expert. You use the work of an internal auditor. So when you use the work of a branch auditor, expert, internal auditor, how do you do it? So that's basically your 600 series. Reporting is 700 series. Reporting is your 700 series. So can I say all things till now are nothing but your auditing standards? All things, chapter number 1 to chapter number 7, we saw it's all auditing related thing. Standards. Still wait. Your 8th chapter is specialized areas. This is 800 series. So this was not there in inter, correct? This was not there in inter. This was not there in old syllabus of CA final also. So this is newly added. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5, yes, this all chapters are newly added. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The specialized areas is kind of 800 series. Related services is nothing but SRS. You know, under your engagement standard, there are SQC, standards on quality control, SA, standards on auditing, SRE, standards on review engagement, SAE, standards on assurance engagement, and SRS, standards on related services. So under your engagement standard, it's divided in 5 parts. Which are the 5 parts? It's divided the engagement standard, SQC, SA, SRE, review engagement, SAE, assurance engagement, SRS, related services. So again, we have standards related to related services. It's 4400 series, 4400 series. Okay. Review of financial information is SRE, 2400 series. This all was not there in your old syllabus of final. This all is there in new syllabus of final, newly added. Okay, next. We have a prospective financial information, other assurance services. This is nothing but SAE, 3400 series. Okay, the related service is kind of 4400 wala series. Review is 2400 series. PFI, prospective financial information, is 3400 series. These are all newly added. Next, digital auditing and assurance. How do we do audit and basically in a computerized environment? So that's digital auditing and assurance, somewhat related to this chapter. Somewhat related to this chapter was there in your final as well. Earlier, it was automated environment. The word written was automated environment. Now they've written basically digital auditing and assurance, and some portions are new. Some portions they've newly added over here. Okay, the till chapter number 11, all are your standards. The chapter 1 to chapter 11, all are your engagement standards, and according to me, engagement standards will have a weightage of 50 marks. The half of your paper is just going to be your auditing standards, engagement standards. So please make sure that you are having a very proper clarity on your engagement standards. Okay. Next one, we have basically chapter number 13, group audit. It was there earlier. Group audit, this is nothing but audit of consolidated financial statement. There's nothing but audit of what? Consolidated financial statement. It was there earlier also, but the name was audit of CFS. Now they mentioned it as group audit. Okay, then we have a chapter called special features of audit of bank and NBFC. How do we audit banks? How do we audit NBFC? That's covered over here. Insurance company is removed. What is removed? Audit of insurance company. Earlier we had audit of insurance company also. Now that audit of insurance company is gone. Then audit of PSU, public sector undertaking. How do we do the audit? Then internal audit. Internal audit. Okay, due diligence, investigation, forensic accounting. It's a kind of in-depth checking for a specific purpose. I repeat, due diligence, investigation, forensic accounting. This is nothing but what? In-depth checking for a specific purpose. Whether fraud has happened or not, you are investigating for that. It's for a specific purpose. Some detailed checking is done. That is covered here. It was there earlier also. Then this is a newly added chapter. 18th one. Emerging areas. We have sustainable development goals and environment, social and governance or assurance. So newly added chapter, which is basically your chapter number 18. And last one basically we have is chapter number 19, professional ethics and liabilities of auditor. What a auditor can do, what a auditor cannot do. CA. See, there are so many restrictions on CA. You cannot do this, you cannot do this. Have you seen any hoarding of a chartered accountant or a newspaper advertisement of a chartered accountant? Or have you seen the chartered accountant ke pamphlets getting distributed for audit related services, for this services, for that services? No. So because we are not allowed to do that, there are many things which they say that we should not be doing it. It basically hampers the reputation of ICAI. Here we are chartered accountant. It should not be like we should be begging for work or something like that. No, it should not happen like that. And that's why this chapter is there. This is a chapter where we learn some provisions of Chartered Accountant Act. The certain provisions of Chartered Accountant Act 1949 is covered over here. Did you understand? Okay, if I see over here, chapter number 1 to 11 are nothing but your engagement standards. 12th, digital auditing and assurance. 13th is audit of CFS. 14th is audit of bank and NBFC. 15th one, audit of PSU. 16th one, internal audit. 17th is due diligence, investigation, forensic accounting, and 18th emerging areas, and 19th one is professional ethics. This is how it's divided. 50 marks according to me will be the weightage of your engagement standard. Actually 50 say 60. It can be 50 to 55, 60 marks also. And another important chapter is basically your professional ethics. This chapter will have a weightage of 16 marks. Imagine 50, 55 marks is engagement standard, 16 marks is professional ethics. Together they will have 70 marks weightage, and all this remaining chapter 12 to 18. Chapter 12 to 18 will have a weightage of 30 to 35 marks. 12 to 18 will have a weightage how much? 30 to 35 marks. This is how your things are divided. Now, sir, what's removed from old syllabus? What's added in new syllabus? I told you added is this, clearly visible. So, in your engagement standard, 800 series of essay 800 series is added. Then SRE are added, SAE are added, SRS are added. The standards on review engagement, standards on assurance engagement, standards on related services, they were not there earlier. They have all been added. And this emerging area, this is added. Now, sir, what's removed? What's removed? Company audit. Yeah, there was a chapter called as company audit. That company audit chapter is removed, sir. Why removed? It's already there in your CA Inter. Yeah, so fully it was there in your CA Inter, company audit chapter together with CARO 2020. It was just getting repeated over here. So they removed the company audit chapter. Second, audit of insurance company is removed. The insurance company audit is removed. Then there was a chapter tax audit. The tax audit chapter currently has been removed over here because, see, it is more related to taxation provision. It was more related to taxation provision only. We're learning the provisions of income tax only over there. That's why the tax audit chapter currently over here has been removed. Okay, any doubts? Anybody with the chapters which we are going to learn? Company audit removed. Audit of insurance company removed. This is not relevant for you. If you don't write, it's okay. An audit under fiscal laws. These are removed. And few things added also. Okay, so let's begin. We are starting with engagement standards. Now what I'm doing is, if you see over here in the index, I've written engagement standard. Sabse pehle. The engagement standard will cover all your engagement standard, SQC, then SA, then SRE, SAE, SRS. When I do this engagement standard, indirectly we are covering chapter 1 to 11. When I'm doing this engagement standard, indirectly we are covering what? Chapter number 1 se leke chapter number 11. The first I'll do this, then I'll cover extra things which are given under chapter 1 to 11. Yeah, the first I'm covering the basics engagement standard, and then if anything extra is given under chapter 1 to 11, I'll cover that separately. We're starting with engagement standard. Indirectly, we're starting with chapter 1 to 11. We'll finish this. Then we go to professional ethics, and then we do the remaining chapters, which are small one. The 55 marks weightage of engagement standard. Professional ethics is kind of 16 marks, and remaining all is around 30 to 35 marks. Okay, now Alexia has a question. Alexia, okay, that's whether company audit has been removed. Answer is yes. We don't have company audit chapter covered over here. The company audit has been removed. A few provisions of company audit they would have given under this reporting. Few provisions of company audit they would have given under reporting, but otherwise the whole chapter is not there now. And sir, why company audit removed? Dear, it's already there in CA Inter. So when CA Inter mein people are doing basically auditing standards, so company audit was getting covered. And second, it is getting covered in your law also. अच्छा, law में also the full chapter is getting covered, because when you're learning provisions, तो law के अंदर you already learn the provision section 128 to 148. 128 to 137 was basically related, 128 to 138 was related to accounts, and 139 to 148 was related to audit. So law में also it was getting covered. Too many times it was coming, that's why it has been removed. Any other doubts? Anybody? Every 15-20 minutes, a sip of water. These are small things which are going to keep you fresh. Okay, so first of all, I've named this as chapter 0. I've named this just as chapter 0. All your engagement standards we are covering over here. Achha, then chapter by chapter, if anything extra will be there, I'll be covering it later separately. Now, as of now, you are not given the full material. You have been given part 1 of the material. And those students who have not received the physical material, what they can do, to this part 1 I've uploaded on a Google Drive. Part 2 and 3 will not be uploaded. It's only for the students who have enrolled. So part 1, currently I've uploaded on a Google Drive. Where I can find it, sir? The Google Drive ka link. Check out your chat box. Chat box mein message number 1, the first message in your chat box. When I started the chat box, I put a Google Drive link over there. And second, in our Telegram group. Telegram group for live online. Telegram group which is for live online, I have put over there as well. So anybody who wants this material, part 1 soft copy I've uploaded on a Google Drive link. Part 2, part 3 will not be uploaded. Part 2, part 3 will only be for the students who have enrolled. They'll be directly getting the physical material. Now, sir, what to do if we have doubts later on? How can we ask? Okay, those who are attending live, they will ask now only. They also might have a doubt later on. And those basically will be watching recorded. Sir, how do we ask the doubt? You see, we have a Telegram group which we have the name as CA Niket Thacker discussion group. So if you just go to Telegram, in our Telegram you type down basically CA Niket Thacker. You will get 2 things. One is basically a channel. Channel is one-sided. And number 2 is discussion group. Discussion group is 2-sided. I request you to subscribe both. Because many times what happens in discussion group, lot of messages are there. If any important communication I have to do, I put up in both. So if you are basically there in channel also, channel me, you will not have many things. It's just few messages from my side which will be coming. All your amendment lectures, etc. Anything coming up, I'll put up on our basically channel as well as discussion group. In your Telegram, CA Niket Thacker channel as well as discussion group, both you need to subscribe. Okay. Chalo, now let's begin. See, many of you were there in FR class. You know, in FR we have IFRS. Internationally, India may we have Ind AS. So we know our Ind AS. Our Ind AS are based on IFRS which are there in UK. Ind AS are based on what? IFRS. Same way over here, your engagement standards. Your engagement standards, they are based on international standards. So यहाँ पे we call it as auditing standard. They had international auditing standards. So based on that international auditing standards only, these standards have been built. So earlier the name was not engagement standard. Earlier name was auditing standard. So India में auditing standard, internationally international auditing standard. They did some name changing, all that things. So here also the name changing, all that things happened. And you won't believe, but earlier when I was studying, it was very simple. Auditing standard 1 से लेके auditing standard 1, AAS we used to call auditing and assurance standard, AAS 1 to AAS 35. Yeah, it was AAS 1 to AAS 35. Now it's not AAS. Now we have standards of auditing, SA, standards on review engagement, SRE, standards on assurance engagement, SAE, standards on related services, SRS, and उसके अंदर भी names में 100 वाला series, 200 series, 300 series, 400 series, वो different है. It's not now AAS 1 to AAS 35. Renaming happened internationally. Here also it happened. So let's start with preface. Let's start with the preface to the standard, the basic introduction. And now each standard, on which page number it is, it's already given to you. Like SA 200, it's on page 11. Then essay 210 is on page 18. So you get the page number. Whenever you want to find something, it becomes easier for you. Okay, so moving ahead. Coming to the preface, how this engagement standards came. Okay, first of all, in 1955, the Council of ICI. See, whenever I say council, under ICAI, we have a central council as well as a regional council. Just like we have a state elections and a regional election, central level election. Yesterday, there were a state election of the results of 4 states, you know. Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Telangana. Out of 4 states, 3 states BJP won, Telangana mein Congress came. So we have a state election also, we have a central election also. Same way under ICAI also, we have a regional council, SIRC, WIRC, NIRC, EIRC, region, 4 region, and we have a central council also. So whenever the word council comes, it's always Central Council of ICI. Council mein kaun hai? It's a Central Council of ICAI. Okay, then 1955, Council had set up some research committee, and in 1964, they came up with statements, okay, not standards, statements on auditing practices. The 4 statements were issued. Statements on qualification of audit report. When do we qualify the audit report? Statements on MAO CARO. Okay, today we have a CARO, Companies Auditor Report Order. है ना? Companies Auditor Report Order, CARO 2020. Earlier it was MAO CARO, Manufacturing and Other Companies Auditors Report Order. So currently we have a CARO. Earlier it was called MAO CARO, Manufacturing and Other Companies. ठीक है. Then statements on responsibility on joint auditor. If there are joint auditors, how will be the responsibility? Now we have a standard on it, SA 299. Again, statements on payment to auditor for other services. So can I say in 1964, statements came. So in 1964, the council published the statement on auditing practices. वो चल रहा था. Now, in 1977, internationally, IFAC was established. IFAC is International Federation of Accountants. Accountant doesn't mean those who do accounting. Here we are chartered accountants. Yeah, so we are also accountants ना. Don't say accountant माने जो accounting लिखते हैं. No. So, International Federation of Accountants means those who are auditors. Okay, so in 1977, IFAC was established. International Federation of Accountants was established to bring harmony in the profession of accountancy. They want auditing to be done in a similar way everywhere. They want auditing to be done in a similar way everywhere. That's why they came up with basically IFAC. Okay, the IFAC established IAASB. Okay, so one internationally IFAC came, International Federation of Accountants. Okay, IFAC established. So under IFAC we have International Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. You know, under ICAI we have an Accounting Standard Board. So, accounting standards are developed by Accounting Standard Board. Accounting Standard Board comes under ICAI. So ICAI के अंदर Accounting Standard Board, Auditing and Assurance Standard Board, they all are there. The same way under IFAC, IAASB, International Auditing and Assurance Standard Board is there. So IFAC established IAASB to develop and issue high quality auditing standards. Okay, so 1977 IFAC came up, and IFAC came up with what? IAASB, and IAASB is formed to set up high quality auditing standard. Now ICAI is a member of IFAC. As you are a member of IFAC, you follow the footsteps of IFAC. As you are a member of IFAC, you follow the footsteps. So what did ICAI do? ICAI constituted a APC. ICAI constituted an audit practice committee. Now that audit practice committee is called as Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. So internationally there is IAASB, India mein we have AASB. Yeah, internationally there is IAASB, India mein we are having what? AASB. So we constituted APC. In 2002, the APC got converted into AASB. AASB. And AASB of ICAI comes up with auditing and assurance standard and the guidance note. They come up with auditing and assurance standard and the guidance note. Okay, so I understand that in India, under ICAI, now we have, पहले क्या था? पहले they had statements related to audit. उसके बाद they came up with basically audit practice committee. Audit practice committee is now converted into what? AASB. The AASB is there under ICAI. They come up with auditing and assurance standards. So earlier it was known as auditing and assurance standard. That's why I told you when I was studying it was AAS1 to AAS35. But now they have been renamed, renumbered, recategorized. तो नेम अलग हो गया, कैटेगरी अलग हो गई, नंबरिंग अलग हो गया. In 2007, the AAS has been renamed to Engagement and Quality Control Standard. This is based on the services which we provide. So based on how we give services, उसके ऊपर it has been renamed and now it is called Engagement and Quality Control Standards. Now just do one thing, come down a bit. You can just come down a bit. Okay, Aisha has a question, sir. Can we get the marked PDF of this? Sorry dear, it won't be possible because this is not in PDF where I'm marking. This is basically a OneNote software. So under OneNote, we don't have that option basically just to take out the material. The marked PDF will not be there. Better is, I've shared you the link. You can open up the PDF and you can keep on marking. आप ऐसा भी कर सकते हो, you can open up the PDF in your mobile or somewhere else and you can just keep marking in PDF. The PDF which I have given you is an editable one, so don't worry about that. Okay. So earlier it was AAS, now it's called Engagement and Quality Control Standards. Sir, why it is called Engagement and Quality Control Standard? So they have recategorized it and the categories are based on the services which we provide. Okay, the one of the service which we provide, can I say we do audits? Which are the services which we do? Audit. Okay, question. Do we give absolute assurance under audit? After audit is there will never be any frauds or error. Do we give any absolute assurance under audit? No. So we give a reasonable assurance. What is reasonable? High, but not absolute. So one type of service which we do is audit. Achha, under audit, what is the level of assurance provided? High. It's a high assurance, but not absolute assurance. The way we give assurance is positively. Sir, ये क्या है? The way we give assurance is positively. We say that. What do we say? The financial statement are showing a true and fair view. Can I say you said in a positive manner? The financial statement are showing a true and fair view. See, so one is basically, if I ask basically I have to reach somewhere from one place to other place. One guy says take this route. Another guy says don't take this route. Okay, so there are two routes of going. So one guy says take route A. Second guy says don't take route B. He says don't take route B. So he is also telling take route A. But one guy told positively take route A. Other guy says negatively don't take route B. Wैसे both are trying to say the same thing. But basically over here, the way of assurance is positively. I say the financial statement are showing a true and fair view. Is it clear? Okay. So report provided, its way of expressing assurance. How do we express the assurance? Positively. Achha, audit is mandatory for all companies. All the companies, audit is mandatory. So that's a company audit. You know, under Companies Act, all companies are required to get the audit done. That's company audit, irrespective of turnover. Second, we have a tax audit. Tax audit is as per the provisions of income tax. So as per the provisions of income tax, if your turnover exceeds 1 crore rupees, if at all online payments basically, your other than cash wale payments are not exceeding limits. So usme the limits are different, but I'm not going into all that things. तो sir, if at all my payment in cash, receipts in cash do not exceed 5%, the limit's different. I know that. But currently, if your turnover exceeds 1 crore, you have audit applicable as per your income tax. That is for sole proprietors, partnership, everyone, even companies. So can I say one is the audit as per Companies Act, other is the audit as per your Income Tax Act? Income Tax Act may the audit applicable only if your turnover exceeds 1 crore rupees. My question, if there's a company having a turnover more than 1 crore, would they have 2 audits or 1 audit? If there's a company having a turnover more than 1 crore, would they have 2 audits or 1 audit? Keep replying, very, very important. If there's a company having a turnover more than 1 crore, would they have 2 audits or 1 audit? Srinidhi says 2. Okay, so almost everybody is telling 2, correct? You see, 1, they will have an audit as per your Companies Act, which is mandatory. And second, as your turnover is exceeding 1 CR, you will also have an audit which is as per the income tax. So sir, why 2 times audit? Dear, the reporting requirements will be different. I repeat, the reporting requirements are different. What we have to report under company audit and what we have to report under tax audit is different. Company audit, the angle is whether the financial statement shows a true and fair view. I repeat, whether the financial statement shows a true and fair view. Tax audit is whether the provisions of income tax are complied or not. Uske related the reporting is there. The reporting under both will be different, but yes, there are 2 separate audits. Are you getting it? Are we required to give 1 report or 2 reports? 1 is basically a company audit separate, tax audit is separate. Chalo, another question. Whether company audit and tax audit of one company, A Limited ka company audit as well as tax audit, should it be done by the same auditor? Or we can hire a different auditor. Company audit done by one person, one CA, tax audit done by another CA. So for single company, A Limited, can I have 2 separate auditors, one for company audit, one for tax audit? I repeat, can I have 2 separate auditors, one for company audit, one for tax audit? Yes, no. Varun says no. Mahesh says different auditors can be appointed. Aisha also says different auditors can be appointed. Indu says yes, correct. So we can have, I repeat, we can have a different auditor for doing a company audit and a different CA doing a tax audit. That's allowed. We can have 2 separate CAs for that. Srinidhi, are you clear? The one we are doing audit is basically mandatory for all the companies. Tax audit comes if the turnover exceeds 1 CR, and that's for everyone, even sole proprietors, partnerships, etc. And under basically audit, we give a high level of assurance, but not absolute. And the way of giving assurance is positively. Okay, second, what we do is called as a review. This is mostly for listed companies. This is generally for listed companies. Okay, now just tell me one thing. You might have seen in newspaper, every quarter gets over. Every quarter is over in the newspaper, you find out the results. So listed company, they publish their quarterly results. Q1 got over, uske related ke results they publish. Q2 got over, uske related results they publish. Now see, even if they're having losses, they're publishing the results. Do you think that they want to show to people, see, we are making losses? No, they don't want to show to people that we are making losses. It's mandatory requirement. Yeah, it's a mandatory requirement. As you are a listed entity, you're bound by the SEBI regulations. As you're a listed entity, you're bound by the SEBI regulations, SEBI LODR, listing basically obligations and disclosure requirement. Listing obligations and disclosure requirement. As per your SEBI LODR regulations, you're required to publish quarterly, unaudited but reviewed financial information. It's not financial statement. It's a financial information. All your listed companies are required to publish on a quarterly basis, unaudited, but reviewed financial information. So it's not audited, but it's a reviewed one. Sir, who had to review it? The reviewed by chartered accountant. It has to be reviewed by whom? The CA. The CAs will review it. So it's a kind of overview type. It's not as detailed as audit. So this for every listed company comes on a quarterly basis. If I get an audit of a listed company, तो together with audit उसके review भी आ जाएंगे. So every quarter I have to do a review and finally year end पे I have to give a proper audit report. So every quarterly review report will also be going. So do we charge separately for review report? Definitely yaar. If you want a separate report, pakka will charge separately for that. The listed entities are required to publish quarterly unaudited but reviewed financial information. This auditor is going to review. Now tell me, whether review will be as detailed as audit? Whether review will be as detailed as audit? Sir, answer is no. If review is not as detailed as audit, can we give a same level of assurance under review? So can we give a same level of assurance under review? No. The review is not as detailed as audit. I cannot give you the same level of assurance. So here, the level of assurance is not high, it's a moderate assurance, medium. The level of assurance is not high, it's a moderate assurance, medium. And the way of giving assurance is not positively, the way of giving assurance is negatively. So under review, the way of giving assurance is not positively, the way of giving assurance is what? Negatively. See, what do we write? Try to just understand it. Try to just understand. We have a full standards on it, don't worry about it. Based on the procedures performed, which do not give all evidences which are there in audit. So based on procedures performed, which do not give all evidences which are basically there in audit, nothing has come to our attention. Nothing has come to our attention which causes us to believe that the financial statements are not showing a true and fair view. See what I'm using the word? Nothing has come to our attention which causes us to believe that the financial statements are not showing a true and fair view. मेरे सामने ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं आया जिससे मैं बोलूं कि financial statements are not showing a true and fair view. In simple words, I'm saying they are showing a true and fair view. But I'm not using a direct language, I'm using a indirect language. The way of expressing assurance over here is negatively. Did you got it? Okay, now Pratap has a question. Sir, can a statutory auditor and review auditor be same? Answer is yes. Statutory auditor, review auditor actually has to be same. So if the review is as per the provisions of SEBI, if review is as per the provisions of SEBI, listed entity hai, uske related review is there, they want the same auditor only. Your auditor only has to be doing your review. But if at all you're doing a review not as per the SEBI requirement, but ऐसे ही, like bank wants some data, उसके लिए you got it reviewed and given, तो वहाँ पे you may have a different auditor. But if it is as per the provisions of SEBI, it has to be the same auditor. ठीक है. Clear? Okay. Now, the bank is giving a loan to A Limited. The bank is giving a loan to A Limited on security of stock. Understand the next thing which I'm explaining? The bank is giving a loan to A Limited on the security of stock. So whether bank wants to know the level of stock maintained by A Limited on a regular basis. Alekha has a question that, sir, can internal auditor give a review report? Answer is no. Internal auditor cannot give a review report. Internal auditor is working for the management. So this is not allowed for him. I ask you a question. Bank is giving a loan to A Limited on the security of stock. So whether bank wants to know the stock level maintained by A Limited? Yeah. So now bank is appointing you. Okay, bank is appointing you, the chartered accountant, and they are telling you that, sir, what do? Every month end or every first of the month you go to A Limited. Every first of the month, I'll go to A Limited. You are required to count the stock which is lying, units. You got the unit? Acha, from the system, you'll get a weighted average rate of the month. So units मिल गया, weighted average rate of the month मिल गया, and then you multiply it, you get the value of stock. That value of stock, I'm required to give it to bank. Okay. So what I need to do? Every month beginning, I have to go to A Limited, I have to count the units over there, multiply it with the weighted average rate in the system, and the value of stock coming up, I have to report to bank. This is what I need to do. If you are doing this question, are you commenting on the figure of stock which is shown by management? So there's a stock figure which management shows, and then I say this is showing a true and fair view. क्या ऐसा कुछ मैंने किया? Bank told me you go and count. I did accounting, I got the units. Then they say you find out the weighted average rate from the system. I did that. And then I found the value of stock. Whichever value of stock I found, I give it to bank. They will compare it with the figure given by management, and then they will try to see management is given a proper figure or not. But question, whether auditor or a chartered accountant, are you commenting on the figure of stock which is shown by management? No. So see, what I am doing is, I'm just doing the procedure which are agreed upon. I'm just doing what? The procedures which are agreed upon. This come under your related services. Under your related services, you have an agreed upon procedure. You're just doing the procedure which are agreed upon, and whatever fact you find out, you'll report the fact. So in your report, there's fact finding. If you went and you found stock is 0, can I say you'll say stock is 0? You went over there, you found the godown is empty, so you say stock is 0. I am not commenting on the figure given by management. See, whenever you comment on the figure given by management says stock is 1 lakh, you say it is fine or not, that's assurance. So यहाँ पे, are we giving any assurance? Answer is no. We are just reporting the fact which we found out. So is there any assurance over here? So under your agreed upon procedure, there is no assurance. Under your agreed upon procedure, there is no assurance. You are just reporting the fact which you found out. Now do one thing. Next page, you have a definition of the word assurance. So सोचा ही नहीं था assurance word की भी definition होगी. Check out the definition of the word assurance. See, assurance refers to auditor's satisfaction as to the reliability of assertion. Assertion means representation. Assertion का meaning क्या होता है? Representation. Assurance refers to auditor's satisfaction as to the reliability of assertion being made by one party for use by another party. Okay, here one party means management. Another party means users of financial statements. Okay, now tell me one thing. If in financial statement the sales is shown 5 crore, can I say management is telling that during the year we have sold, say, goods worth 5 crore? Financial statements are prepared by management. So whatever is written in financials, can I say they are all assertions by management? Financial statements are prepared by management. So whatever is there in financials, can I say they are all representations or assertions by management? Management is representing sales is 5 crore. Management is representing other income is this much. Management is representing PPE is this much. Because they are prepared by management. Okay. The assurance refers to auditor's satisfaction as to the reliability of what? The representations made by one party, management, for use by another party, the users of financial statements. Did you understand this? Okay. The auditor is commenting whether the representations made by management are proper or not. See, auditor's satisfaction as to the reliability. This financial statement shows a true and fair view. That's assurance. But if I'm not commenting only, if I'm commenting on the figures provided by management, that's assurance. If I don't comment on the figures given by management, then there is no assurance. Did you understand definition of the word assurance? Did you understood the definition of the word assurance? Thank you. Okay, so whenever I'm called upon to do agreed upon procedure, I'm doing the procedure which we've agreed. I'm not commenting on the figures which are reported by management. I just did the procedure which you told. You told me go and count the stock, I count the stock. You told me multiply with the weighted average rate, I multiply with the weighted average rate. And you told me whatever stock figure comes, give it to me, I give it to you. I'm not commenting whether the stock shown by management is proper or not. That's why there is no assurance. ठीक है. And fourth word over here under related service only, there's compilation. Okay, now tell me one thing. Financial statements are very huge. Financial statements are very huge. Can I say sometimes the management needs, the board of director needs a summary of it? They are not interested in such big financial statements. Sometimes they want summary like say the sales region wise, the sales product wise. For taking better decision. For taking better decision, they want the sales region wise, they want the sales basically your kind of area wise, all that things. Product wise. Okay. They might also need the things, okay, people buying a washing machine or refrigerator with extended warranty, people buying refrigerator without extended warranty, uska percentage is this, that, so many analysis. Now tell me, can I say chartered accountants are better in doing analysis? Achha, so can I say you might hire a chartered accountant, not your auditor, another CA. So sometimes the chartered accountants are hired to prepare a summary. I repeat, you're hired to what? Prepare a summary. Okay, so am I doing auditing over here? No. I am preparing. Now see, if you see over here, this material mein likha hai, compiled by me. It's compiled by CA Niket Thacker. Compiled is what? Prepared. So this is basically a prepared by me. I would have taken a base of ICI material. So by taking ICI material as base, I have prepared this material. Are you getting my point? So under compilation, we are preparing something. So management has called you to prepare something. Okay, sometimes you have to do sometimes management has to do a presentation in a litigation. There's a litigation going on. In a presentation, some documents are to be submitted. You are called upon to compile that things. You are not the auditor of the company. You are not the auditor. You are coming over here to prepare some summary for their use. It's kind of a preparing a summary. Now tell me, if I'm preparing something, am I commenting on the figures of management? If I'm preparing something, am I commenting on the figures of management? No. I'm not a checker over here. I'm a preparer over here. I'm not doing checking. I'm just doing preparation. And as I'm doing just a preparation work, there's no level of assurance. इसमें कोई assurance नहीं है. And see, I'll prepare the financials based on data which you give. I'll prepare the summary, whatever you are telling me to prepare. I'm preparing that summary based on the data what you're giving. If your data is wrong, summary will be wrong. I'm not going to check the data which you're giving. I'm just asked to prepare something, not to check. So we are preparing based on the data given by you. So under your compilation, assurance nahi hai, no assurance. And we identify the information compiled. We are a preparer. We are preparing summary for the management under compilation. Right over here, we prepare summary for management. Clear? Okay, which are the type of services which we are giving? One, we give audit. Usme high level of assurance but not absolute, and the way of giving assurance is positively. Second, review generally for listed entity. It can be other than that also, but generally listed entity. Under review, the checking is not as in-depth as audit, and that's why the level of assurance is not high, it's a moderate one. And the way of giving assurance will be a negative way. And then we are doing some other services. In your other services, one, we have agreed upon procedure. One, we have what? The agreed upon procedure, we do the procedures which are agreed upon, so we are just reporting the fact which we found out. There's no assurance. And last one is compilation. Compilation is basically your preparation of summary. You are helping management in preparing something. You're not checking. You're preparing something, and you're preparing based on the data given by management. If data is wrong, my summary will be wrong. I'm not going to check the data. So there's no assurance over here. Now, all your standards related to audit, they are called SA, standards on auditing. All your standards related to review, they are called SRE, standards on standards on review engagement, SRE. The audit is SA, review is SRE, and all your standard related to related services, agreed upon procedure, compilation, they are called SRS. So can I say we understood? Now we have यहाँ पे SA, SRE, SRS. Did you understood this? The standards are not just for audit, but also for reviews, other services also. If I just go back, okay, this point is important. The AAS are renamed as engagement and quality control standards. One is called standards on auditing, where we do the audit of historical financial information. Audit is of historical. The year is over, then uska audit hota hai. Sales ho gaya, then I can audit. I cannot do an audit of sales which is going to happen in future. Okay, then we have SRE, that is standards on review engagement. That is a review of historical financial information. Then we have SRS, standards on related services. This is for agreed upon procedures and compilation engagement. Did you understood this three? SA, audit of historical financial information. SRE, review engagement, that is review of historical financial information. SRS, this for related services. ये audit था, ये review है. Okay, now there are two more. Now tell me one thing. Company wants a loan. From bank, where the bank asks to give some projected figures. The company wants a loan, whether they are required to submit some projected figures. Yes, sir. And the projections are also to be certified by chartered accountant. Yeah. The projections are also to be certified by chartered accountant. You might have seen this in your office also. So, uske related, sir, do we have a standard? Yes, that's called standards on assurance engagement, SAE. But can I say it's other than historical? It's not historical financial information, uske upar we are certifying. We are certifying on prospective financial information. So this is SAE, standard on assurance engagement. It's audit of assurance engagement other than historical financial information. The example is PFI, prospective financial information. So whenever a company wants to take a loan, they need to give a projected figures. The projected figures are to be again certified by chartered accountant. Uske andar basically your standards on assurance engagement, SAE, comes. It's an audit of assurance engagement other than historical. Did you understood? Okay. And then there is SQC. See, whether you do SA, whether you do audit, whether you do review, whether you do related services, or whether you are giving other than historical financial information ka assurance engagement, whatever you do, can I say you want to maintain the quality of your work? To maintain the quality of your work, you have a standards on quality control. SQC is standards on quality control. This is to be applied. Whether you do SA, whether you do SRE, whether you do SAE, whether you do SRS, anything you do, SQC will be applicable. To be applied for all services covered by engagement standard. So actually first four, this first four, A, B, C, D, they are engagement standard, and all five together are engagement and quality control standard. First four, they are engagement standards, and all five together All five together are engagement and quality control standard. This SQC are to be applied whether you do audit, whether you do review, whether you do related services, or whether you do SAE, standards on assurance engagement. This SQC is applicable for all. This is to maintain the quality of your work. Any doubts? Anybody? Did you understood how this rename this happened category wise? Keep smiling, pay attention. Okay, now sir, many times chartered accountant does consultancy work. If I do consultancy work, do you have any standards related to that? If I'm doing any consultancy, do I have a standard related to that? Answer is no. So they've clearly given over here, the framework does not apply to some other services provided by the auditor such as taxation or consultancy, etc. Uske liye we don't have anything. Now, whatever I told you, this all is given over here. Audit basically is you give a reasonable assurance and you're required to tell whether the financial statement shows a true and fair view. The auditor's opinion is to give a true and fair view. You have to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Based on that, you're required to give opinion. And you give a high level of assurance but not absolute. That's fine. Next comes review. As per clause 49 of listing agreement, actually now it's not listing agreement, now LODR regulation. Now SEBI LODR regulation. So now it's not clause 49 of listing agreement, now it's provision of LODR regulation. SEBI. Okay, all listed entities are required to publish quarterly, unaudited but reviewed financial information. Acha, now just try to see the objective. Under review, you don't give basically reasonable assurance, you're giving a moderate assurance. And moderate assurance, how do you give? You don't give it positively, you give it in a negative manner. Nothing has come to my attention because of which I say the financial statements are not showing a true and fair view. Nothing has come to my attention. Okay. So check. The objective of review is to enable the auditor to state whether on the basis of procedure which do not give all evidences which are required in audit, anything has come to his attention. So I'll write nothing has come to my attention. Anything has come to his attention that causes him to believe that the financial statements are not prepared in accordance with identified financial reporting framework, that is laws and regulation. Identified financial reporting framework is nothing but laws and regulation. Whether anything has come to your attention because of which you feel that they are not as per the laws and regulation, then nothing has come to our attention. Nothing has come to our attention because of which we feel they are not as per laws and regulation. It's a negative way of giving assurance. Under review, we have a negative assurance. We have a full standards on it, so don't worry about it in detail. Achha, review comprises mostly of inquiry and analytical procedure. Okay, so under your review, whenever you're doing review, it's not as detailed as audit. Whenever you're doing review, can I say it's not as detailed as audit? And sir, as it's not as detailed as audit, so can I say over here, I'll not do all the procedures required in audit. So they say you focus more on inquiries from management. You inquire with management and you do analytical procedure. What is analytical procedure? You analyze the ratios and trend. Yeah, you analyze the ratios and trend, find out significant fluctuations and investigate them. So that is analytical procedure. The analytical procedure refers to analysis of ratios and trend, finding out significant fluctuations and investigating them. I just put a star here, right down at the top. So under review, you do majorly what? Inquiries with management, analytical procedures. Put a star, write down. Analytical procedures refers to analysis of ratios and trends, finding out significant fluctuations, and investigating them. The audit में more detailed procedures are there. Under review, we focus more on inquiries from management, analytical procedure. Going ahead. The assurance which we give is less compared to the audit. Okay, compilation. Under agreed upon procedure. Under agreed upon procedure, we are called upon to do the procedures which are agreed upon. It may be agreed by you, entity, or even third party. Yeah, the bank told you to go to A Limited. The A Limited is not telling me. Bank is telling me to go to A Limited first of every month, count the stock over there, whatever is the quantity came, multiply with the weighted average rate in the system and give the stock figure to bank. Okay, so this is nothing but auditor is engaged to carry out procedures which are agreed upon, by auditor, entity, appropriate third party, and to report on the factual finding. Whatever fact you found out, you report it. And the report is only restricted to the parties who have agreed to the procedure. It's not common for everyone. It's just for those people who agreed upon to this thing. The report is only for you, bank, A Limited, not for others. Compilation, you're called upon to prepare something for management. You're helping management in preparing a summary. The member of ICAI is engaged to use accounting expertise as opposed to auditing expertise. You are called upon to use your accounting expertise as opposed to auditing expertise to collect, classify, and summarize the financial information. And that's why you don't give any assurance under compilation. So under agreed upon procedure, you are just reporting the fact you found out, no assurance. Under compilation also, there is no assurance. The reason you are not commenting on the figures given by management. So under agreed upon procedure and compilation, we are not commenting on the figures prepared by management. That's why there is no assurance. Okay, I just put a star, 2 stars. Write down over here. Under agreed upon procedures, and compilation, comma, we do not comment on the figures provided by management. We are not commenting on the amounts or figures which are given by management. Therefore, there is no assurance. Are you clear? Therefore, there is no assurance. Okay, we just understood how that renaming, renumbering, recategorization, that all happened. Abhi still categories we understood. Naming we understood. Numbering is still pending. Category we understood. Naming we understood. Now numbering. Okay. Now, so we understood we have SQC, Standards on Quality Control. Then we have SA, SRE, SAE, SRS. Now they're given a category. All your SQC will be between 1 to 99. So if you see a series between 1 to 99, they're all SQC. Then 100 to 899 is SA. 100 to 899 is SA. 2000 to 2699 is SRE. 3000 to 3699 is SAE. And 4000 to 4699 is SRS. So this is how they've given the categories and numbers. 1 to 99 is SQC. 100 to 899 is SA. Then there is SRE, SAE, SRS. Okay, now someone asked me, sir, what about the gaps which are there? Like if you see यहाँ पे 1 to 99 is SQC, understandable, 100 to 899. What about 900 से लेके 1999? 900 to 199 is missing in between. They might come up with standards related to something else. Like we don't have standards on consultancy. So they might come up with something in between. So don't think about, sir, why that numbers are missing. Okay, it's missing. They might come up with something new later on. Acha, if they are given 1 to 99 is on SQC, doesn't mean that there are 99 SQCs. 1 to 99 series is for SQC. It doesn't mean there are 99 SQC. As of now, there's only one SQC, that is SQC1. So series 1 से लेके 99 is for SQC. They can come up with SQC2, 3, 4, 5 in future. As of now, there's only one SQC, SQC1. Did you got it? Okay, now coming to your standards on auditing. Auditing के लिए the series is 100 to 899, but it's further divided. For audit, the series is 100 to 899, but it's further divided. How it's further divided? 100 to 199 is introductory matter. There are no standards under introductory matter. 100 to 199 is for introductory matter, no introduction, which है ही नहीं. Okay, 200 to 299 is general principles and responsibility. Remember, we have a chapter also, general principles and responsibility. So this is 200 series. In that, we have 200, 210, 220, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 299. Okay, 300 series. 300 to 499, 300 and 400 series, identifying the risky areas, responding to that. So risk assessment and responses to the assessed risk. So when you are doing audit, so which are the risky area where there can be fraud or error? There can be, I'm not telling there is, but there can be a fraud or error. So try to identify a risky area and then come out with a response. Check them in more detail. Check them in more detail. Achha, 500 series is on audit evidence. 600 series is using the work performed by others. 600 is using the work performed by others, using the work of expert, using the work of internal auditor, using the work of branch auditor. That's coming over here. 700 to 799 is audit conclusion and reporting. 700 to 799 is on reporting. 800 is specialized area. This was earlier not there. This was earlier not there, newly added. 800 series. Means in your syllabus it's newly added. Earlier it was not there in your syllabus. It was there in standards. Standards means there since long. So when I was studying also it was there. But in your syllabus it was not there. Now they've added in your syllabus. Okay, so 100 to 199 introductory matter. 200 series is on general responsibilities. 300 to 499 is risk assessment and responses to the risk. 500 series is audit evidence. 600 using work performed by others. 700 is reporting. 800 is specialized area. Now, 2000 to 2699 is on review. 2000 to 2699 is on review. As of now, there are only 2 review standards which are issued. As of now, there are only two review standards which are issued, 2400, 2410. So in your review, there are only two standards, 2400, 2410. Achha, then we had standards on assurance engagement, that is other than historical financial information. Other than historical, in that there are three standards, 3400, 3402 and 3420. 3400, 3402 and 3420, there are three standards which are issued over here. And in your SRS, there are two. One is on agreed upon procedure, one is on compilation. One is on agreed upon procedure, one is on compilation. So can I say this, this, this and this? These are newly added in your syllabus, not there earlier. So 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 2, 10 standards are newly added in your syllabus. 10 standards newly added in syllabus, not there under the old syllabus. Okay, moving ahead, to be understood, ICAI comes up with the standards. Now they are not called auditing standards, they are called engagement and quality control standard. It's not auditing and assurance standard, it's engagement and quality control standards. Now, whether ICAI comes up with other things also, okay, one, they are coming out with standards. Anything else? Anything else? Yeah. So if you just recall, pehle there were statements. सबसे पहले 1964 they come up with 4 statements. उसके बाद standards आए. So what are the various matters which are issued by ICAI? What are the various things which are issued by ICAI? One, they issue standards or statement. This is for securing compliance by member on the matter which in opinion of council are critical for proper discharge of function. Whichever areas are critical for proper discharge of function by the member, ICAI came up with the statements or standards. Pehle statement the, now standard came. With standard coming, statement related to that topic is no longer valid. With standard coming, statement related to that topic is no longer valid. And the standards or statement, they are mandatory for the members to follow. Second, general clarification. Okay, whenever your standards are ambiguous, standard mein kuch ambiguity is there and the ICAI has to give a clarification. If standard is ambiguous, there's some clarification required, they come up with a general clarification. This is with a view to clarify issues arising from standard, and they are also mandatory. The one, they come up with the standards which are mandatory for securing compliance on matters which are critical for proper discharge of function by their members. So we don't have standards for each and every small thing, but it's for those matters which ICAI feels are critical in discharging the work by members. Second is general clarification. This is basically to clarify the ambiguity in standards. Third comes guidance note. They assist you in implementing standards. They assist in implementing the standards. Okay, how to apply standard? Uske liye some guidance notes are given. They are for your guidance, not mandatory. They are for your guidance, not mandatory. Okay, so general clarification to clarify the issue in standard. Guidance note to assist you in implementing standard. They help you in implementing the standard. They are not mandatory. Okay, then they come up with some technical guides. Now imagine, I have an audit of cement industry. Okay, there's another company which I have an audit is a steel industry. Okay, third company is basically a rubber industry. Fourth company is a chemical industry. Now, question comes, sir, how that each and every industry works. If you are an auditor, you should know, na. Without knowing how can a steel industry work, you're not able to do audit of steel companies properly. Without knowing how can a rubber industry work, you are not able to do the audit properly. I need knowledge about each and every industry, how they're working. So ICAI came up with a booklet. I repeat, ICAI came with a booklet on each and every type of industry. How does that work? How do you do audit over there? They come out with a booklet. That's called technical guides. So they impart you broad knowledge. They're imparting broad knowledge about a particular aspect or of an industry, either related to a specific topic or about an industry only. They're imparting broad knowledge. Clear? Okay, then they come up with this practice manual. Acha, old syllabus we used to have practice manuals. It's nothing but past basically question answers or past case laws ke compilation. That's basically a practice manual. These are providing additional guidance. These are some aimed at providing some additional guidance while you're doing your work. The past case laws ki book or something, that is basically coming under your practice manual. And studies and other paper. Okay, imagine we have a members journal, same way your student journal. Many of you might be getting a physical copy of student journal, many of you might be getting email pay the student journal, and in your student journal some articles are coming, impact of GST on Indian economy, or impact of the state election on Indian economy. So many articles etc are coming. Can I say that is basically to spread knowledge? इसका पर्पस क्या है वो स्टूडेंट जर्नल का? दैट इज टू स्प्रेड नॉलेज अमंग्स द पीपल, टू स्प्रेड नॉलेज अमंग द स्टूडेंट, द स्प्रेड नॉलेज अमंग्स द CA when we have a members journal. So that is basically studies and other paper. This is aimed at promoting discussion or creating awareness amongst the people relating to auditing, assurance, all that things. Okay, so these are so many things issued by ICI. One is the standards, which we understood. Second is clarification if there's an ambiguity in standard. Third one, guidance note. They help you in implementing the standards. But a guidance note are for guidance, not mandatory. Technical guide, they are books published on each and every industry or a particular aspect, kind of that. Then they have practice manual, kind of past case law booklets, and studies and other paper, basically your members journal, etc. Members journal, etc. तो इसका example is past case law booklet. इसका example is members journal. Acha, now sir, which all things are mandatory, which all are not mandatory? Out of the 6 things, A, B, C, D, E, F, first and second are mandatory. Standards mandatory, clarifications mandatory. First and second are mandatory, remaining 4 are not mandatory. A and B are mandatory. C, D, E, F are not mandatory. Standards are mandatory, you have to follow it. Clarifications are mandatory. Guidance note, technical guide, practice manuals, studies and other paper, they are just for your reference. You refer it, it's not mandatory. Okay, now under GST, you know, the GST, when it came up, the finance ministry or the parliament approved it, and then the GST came. The parliament approved and then the GST came. So for introduction of GST, you needed parliament's approval. Now under that, now onwards, suppose some product, the rate of GST is getting changed. Some product mein GST rates are increased, some product mein GST rates are decreased. So can I say for that again you do need to go to parliament? Okay, implementation of GST, you took a permission of parliament. Now question is, GST के product में some product rate going up or down, do you need to again go to parliament? No sir, we have a GST council. Yeah, we have a GST council. GST council might directly change the rates. We don't have to go to parliament again. Parliament में नहीं जाना है. Alekha, are you clear? Alekhya. Okay. So we don't have to go to parliament again for rate changes. This can be done by GST council only. The same way over here. They are telling, we know auditing and assurance standard board was there. They used to come out with all these things. The auditing and assurance standard board comes up with all these things. But before a standard becomes applicable, it has to be approved by council of ICI, the central council. So what is happening is, out of the 6, all 6 are issued by AASB. All 6 are issued by AASB, but first three has to be under the authority of council. So council approves, then only they are valid. And last 3 are issued directly by AASB. The first 3 are issued under the authority of council. while the last three are issued directly by AASB. Is it clear? First three are issued under the authority of council. तो AASB issue करे, it's not valid unless the council authorize it. The same way GST council came up with something, no, उसके बाद a parliament's approval required for something, तो यहाँ पे council of ICA is like a parliament. So all six as such are issued by AASB, but first three are under the authority of council, last three are issued directly by AASB. You don't need council's approval for that, last three items. Is it clear? Acha, now question. Guidance notes. First three are under the authority of council. Guidance notes are issued under the authority of council and hence they are mandatory. True, false? Guidance notes are issued under the authority of council and hence they are mandatory. True or false? Guidance notes are issued under the authority of council and hence they are mandatory. False. They are issued under authority of council. First three are issued under authority of council, but are mandatory only first two. So guidance note issued under authority of council, correct, but are they mandatory? Answer is no, they are not mandatory. Clear? Chalo, moving ahead, let us just finish up this introduction. Tomorrow we'll start with SA 200. We're just finishing with introduction. SA 200 I'll start tomorrow. Okay, objectives and functions of AASB. So what does your AASB do? Uske objectives and function. Okay, one, they review the existing and the emerging audit practices and they try to identify where we need standards. They review the existing and emerging auditing practices and identify the areas in which engagement standards or SQC or statements on auditing needs to be developed. Okay, the one they will try to identify kahan pe standards chahiye based on what is happening internationally, all that things. Then they will formulate the engagement standards. They will review the existing standards. Acha, the one they will formulate the standard, they will review the existing standard, whether it needs a change or not. Then they will develop guidance notes. They'll review the existing guidance note. They'll come up with clarifications if required. They'll come up with technical guide, practice manual, studies and other paper, etc. Did you understood? So first they try to identify where do we need a standard based on what's going on internationally, etc. Then they develop standard, they review the existing standard, they develop the guidance note, they review the existing guidance note, they come out with clarifications also when required, and they come out with technical guide, practice manual, studies, other paper. Okay? Now, composition of AASB, who are there under AASB? Composition of AASB, who are there under AASB apart from the elected members of Council of ICA? So, council members are there. Uske alawa, apart from the elected members of Council of ICA, the following are also represented on AASB. The AASB will have experts. AASB will have experts, the eminent members of profession, the eminent members mane CA. So good CAs will be there, some in practice, some in industry. They will have good CAs as a part of AASB. Acha, one special invite from each of the regulatory body. SEBI, RBI, IRDA. SEBI, RBI, IRDA. SEBI, RBI and IRDA, Insurance Regulatory Development Authority. So one special invite from each of the regulatory body. They also will be the member of AASB. One special invite from IIM. One special invite from some industry association like Chamber of Commerce. And one special invite from public interest, some NGO type of thing. Usme se bhi one person. So who will be the member of AASBs? Apart from the council members, there will be some eminent members of profession, industry or practice wale. Then special invite from regulatory bodies, special invite from IIM, special invite from industry, special invite from NGOs. Did you got it? Okay, now see, anything which is important is already marked as important in your material. If you see यहाँ पे ये important, तो sir, what is important, what is not important, it's already there in your book. जो important होगा, it will be written. Here it's written important, but if you see here, यहाँ पे important नहीं है. यहाँ पे important नहीं है. So any topic important marked as important. Now it doesn't mean that you do only the important things. See, question comes most of the time from those which are marked as important, but other things may also come. It's not like they are not at all relevant only. So you have to do the things, but focus more on those which are important. Next, the term of the members. If at all you are a member of AASB, what is your term? The chairman ka term is 3 years, other members are 1 year. Chairman is 3 years, other members is 1 year. And now procedure for issuing or modifying engagement and quality control standard. How do we issue or modify? See, both together. Procedure for issuing standard as well as modifying standard, both are same. Acha, first, who will try to identify where we need a standard or whether we need to modify a standard? Who will try to identify that? Standard चाहिए या modification चाहिए? Who will identify? It's a AASB. Okay, the project identification, prioritization, approval. So, project proposal to develop or revise the existing standards are identified based on national and international developments. AASB will basically identify where we need a standard, where we need to change the standard, all that things. Okay, then AASB determines the priority. Suppose we need standard at 2 places. So which one we should do first? And now for preparing standard, the AASB identify kiya where we need a standard. For preparing standard, they form study groups. So in preparing the standard, the AASB is assisted by study group or task force. Okay, so AASB identifies where we need a standard. They will also prioritize, and then they form study groups which will help AASB in preparing the standard. Now, the study groups will come up with a draft standard. The step 2 is consultation and debate. The study group or task force develop the preliminary draft. The preliminary draft is submitted to the chairman of AASB for approval, and it will be basically the preliminary draft. Preliminary draft will be discussed in AASB ki meeting. In AASB meeting, it will be discussed. It will also be sent to the council members of ICI. So the proposed draft as approved by chairman is circulated to council members for their comment. The preliminary draft, which is approved by the chairman, is sent to whom? The council members for their comment. Okay. Now comes public exposure. Okay, the exposure draft. Now see what happens over here is, first of all, the task force under AASB, the study group or task force, they developed a preliminary draft. Preliminary draft approved by the chairman. Then it was circulated to what? It was circulated to the council members of ICI as well as some special bodies. It is also circulated to special bodies. Once their comment comes, the preliminary draft is now again modified. Now it becomes exposure draft. Exposure draft is exposed to public at large. We put up on ICI website and everybody can comment on it. The exposure draft of proposed standard is hosted on ICAI website, also put on the monthly journal, and it is also sent to all the council members of ICAI. And it's also sent to all the council members of ICAI. And exposure drafts are also sent to specified bodies. Exposure drafts are also sent to specified bodies like MCA, SEBI, RBI. And we take comments. Unke paas se comment lete hain, we keep it open for 45 days. Everybody can comment on it 45 days. Okay, I repeat first. Where do we need a standard? AASB identifies it, they prioritize it, and for preparation, they have study groups. Study group gives them a preliminary draft. Preliminary draft is approved by the chairman of AASB. Then it's circulated to council members. Okay? Now, Now the exposure draft comes up, which is exposed to public at large, and exposure draft is also sent to specified bodies. Exposure drafts are also sent to what? The specified bodies, and based on their comment, 45 days we give them for comment, and now the final version is prepared. After taking into consideration the comments received, the draft is finalized by AASB, and AASB submits to the council, and then it is issued under the authority of council. Remember, the standards are issued under the authority of council. The AASB ने final कर दिया based on comments from everyone, and then you give it to council. Council will then issue it. Did you understood? Okay, the step number 1, project identification, prioritization, approval. Who will do it? AASB will identify where we need a standard, they will prioritize it, and they will approve the issuing. For purpose of preparing, they will have the study groups. Okay, study group comes up with the preliminary draft. Preliminary draft will be approved by, it will be discussed in AASB meeting, approved by the chairman of AASB, and the preliminary draft will also be sent to the council members. Okay, after preliminary draft, some changes are done. Now it's exposure draft. It's exposed to public. Why it is called exposure draft? It's exposed to public at large. It's given to specified bodies. Everybody can comment. 45 days it's open for comment. And procedure for issuing or modifying standard, both are same. Guidance note also, the procedure is same, except under guidance note, exposure draft not required. Procedure for issuing guidance note, exposure draft not required. Step 3 not required for guidance note. If you're issuing or modifying a guidance note, step 3 not required. If you're issuing or modifying a standard, step 1, 2, 3, 4 all are required. Now, based on the comments received, they will finalize it. Final karke, they will give it to Council of ICAI. Council of ICAI will then issue it. Is it clear? Done. Last question of the day. Write a short note on AASB. So there's one more. Okay, write a short note on AASB. The AASB functions as an independent standard setting body under IFAC. IFAC has established AASB. The objective is to come up with the high quality auditing standards, which are basically for use internationally. So, how do they achieve this objective? The AASB achieve the objective. Kaise? By establishing high quality standards and guidance note for audit. They develop high quality standards and guidance note for other type of assurance services, SAE, standards on assurance engagement. Okay, they develop standards for related services, SRS. They develop standards on quality control, SQC, and they also come up with some other pronouncements. They also come up with some other pronouncement. ठीक है, यहाँ पे SAE and SRE दोनों लिख लेते हैं. Okay, so this is what they do. AASB, short note on AASB. Clear? Short note on AASB. Okay, moving ahead, illustration number 2. CAP is the auditor of master data for 2021-22. Company request auditor. Achha. The company requests the auditor only the verification of trade receivable. They want only the verification of trade receivable. So you just have to send a confirmation to trade receivable and usko reconcile karna hai. So you are required to send a confirmation, external confirmation. Auditor they hired. You hired a chartered accountant. Sir, do one thing. This is the list of debtors. Send confirmation to each one of them. Wherever balance not matching, prepare reconciliation. Can I say I'm doing agreed upon procedure? So CAP has to do a arithmetical accuracy of trade receivable, obtain confirmation, see the reconciliation and report. I am doing agreed upon procedure. He is in a dilemma whether to provide assurance. He is in a dilemma whether I can provide assurance. So remember, under your agreed upon procedure, there is no assurance. You're just doing a fact finding. Just report the fact which you found out. Okay, the check over here. The type of services described in the situation falls under related services. They go under agreed upon procedure, and you cannot issue a assurance report under agreed upon procedure. You can issue a report stating the fact. Whatever fact you found out, you only report the fact. So can you give an assurance report? Answer is no. Can you give an assurance report? Answer is no. This question was there in RTP May 23. I remind you, our material will cover basically all your ICI questions, your past RTPs, suggested answers, everything. RTP May 23, this question was asked, and that's it. We are done for the day. Preface is done. Your SA 200 I'll be starting tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the first class. We'll continue with the subject tomorrow. And any doubts anybody is having, please let me know. Any doubts, anybody? Just one sentence for you. Every day at the end of the class, I'll try to say some good sentences which is there to motivate you. Success is not by doing great things. It's just by doing small things with great discipline. So, sir, to get an all India rank, what do I need to do differently? Nothing. Same material, one student refers is getting all India rank, other student refers is not clearing also. It's not like you've done something else. It's just small things you need to do with a great discipline. Make sure you attend all your classes on a timely basis. Make sure you've written 1 or 2 mock tests. Make sure basically that you are focusing on the important sentences, important words which are there. You are not writing answers very generally. It's just small things with great discipline that's going to help you. Any doubts anybody's having, tell me, or else we meet tomorrow, same timing, morning 6:30. Today there was some technical issue, that's why we started late. Tomorrow onwards, morning 6:30 sharp. Chalo then, bye everyone, see you all tomorrow.